will take place electronically in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act due to the ongoing state of emergency occasioned by COVID-19. Notice of this meeting was given by 1, public advertisement with sufficient notice herein to the Home News Tribune, New Jersey, 2, filing advance written notice of the meeting with the city clerk's office, and 3, posting of the notice on the public website of the Housing Authority. During the meeting, participants, including members of the public, may be muted by the host. However, there will be an opportunity for them to participate and speak during the public portion of the meeting, where participants will be unmuted at their request. Ready for the roll call?
Yes.
Commissioner Caldwell? I do not see him. Commissioner Walde? Do not see him. There's other people. Commissioner Giorgiani?
Here, yes.
Commissioner Cepeda?
Here, thank you.
Commissioner Dunglap? And Commissioner Wright? I see Zachary. Zach? Hello?
He's muted.
He's muted, but I see him. Wave. All right, we'll circle back. I see him on there. And Chair.
Here.
Okay. Would you like to do the Pledge of Allegiance, Chair?
Yes.
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation,
under God,
indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Chair, you have the meeting minutes from the last meeting?
Yes. All right, can we get a motion?
Motion to accept.
A second?
Second.
Okay, any questions? Okay, go ahead.
Commissioner Giorgiani?
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda?
Yes.
Commissioner Wright? I think we're having audio issues, so I'm not going to record that, so. And Chair?
Yes.
Okay, I don't know what the audio issue is.
Can he hear you, John?
Yeah, I think you can hear me.
Maybe give you a thumbs up or something if you got audio instead of, you have no audio problems, not video. Okay.
Chair, could you give me 1 second so I can just
Yes,
maybe
go
see if I
ahead.
can plus him in on the text? Okay,
Yes.
1 minute here. And do that. I'm gonna go in here. Hey, Zach, can you hear us now? Oh, hold on.
perfect.
Oh, you're good. Okay, Zach. All right, we're voting on the minutes. Zach? Commissioner Wright? Oh, you heard us for a second.
Yeah, I heard him for a second, Jeff.
Yeah. Hey, Alberto.
There's somebody.
That's Commissioner Wallace. Hi, Commissioner.
Good evening, John. Thanks a lot for that.
Yes. Until Zach gets his system up, we are just voting on the minutes for the previous meeting. Are you good with them?
Yes.
No, Commissioner Dunglap?
Yes.
Okay. And Zach, I guess when you get back up, I just texted you. Oh, I see you're open right now, Zach, if you can speak. I don't know if it's a microphone issue. Okay. All right, Chair, would you like me to read Resolution 1?
Yes.
Resolution 1 is a resolution approving NJ Innovation Associates LLC as redeveloper for property known as portion of Block 17, Lot 1.01, and Block 18, portions of Lot 1.04 and 19.01, and vacated Church Street on the New Brunswick tax map for construction of mixed-use development consisting of approximately 415,000 square feet of office, research, and related proposed on property located in Farron redevelopment plan area and approving a redevelopment agreement between the redevelopment agency and redeveloper. Need a motion and a second, Chair.
Okay, can I get a motion?
Some reason.
I'm like,
Okay, it's been
Motion.
moved. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have special counsel John Hoffman here.
John, could we take both of these projects together since they're right next to each other? In the
Chair, you want to do these together or separately?
For which,
This would be resolution 1 and resolution 2. I can read resolution 2 in the record, and then we can do a friendly amendment for the move in the second.
Two, yes, thank you.
Okay, Commissioners Dunlap and Commissioner Giorgiani, are you okay with that for the move in second?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Resolution number 2 is a resolution approving Downtown Hub Associates 2 LLC as redeveloper for property known as portion of Block 17, Lot 1.01 and Block 18, portions of Lot 4.01 and 19.01 and vacated Church Street on the New Brunswick tax map and vacated of Church Street for construction of a 115,000 square foot state-of-the-art medical school building for Rutgers University on portion located in the Farron redevelopment plan area and approving a redevelopment agreement between the redevelopment agency and redeveloper. Zach, is that you? I thought I heard him. Okay, it's been moved and seconded, so we're doing both at the same time, Counselor John.
Okay. Thank you very much, John. These two redevelopment projects are in the Farron Mall redevelopment district, which property consists primarily of the old Farron Mall and parking deck and a vacation of a portion of Church Street. In both the projects, the developer is an affiliate of DEFCO, which has entered into a contract of sale to purchase a property from the New Brunswick Parking Authority. In the first project, the developer is the New Jersey Innovation Associates. It's on property consisting of about 0.8 of an acre. There will be a 415,000 square foot building consisting of approximately 165,000 square feet of offices, workspace, wet and dry labs, conference facilities, auditoriums, and food service, and 250,000 square feet of transitional research facility for Rutgers Biomedical Health Services, consisting of special research spaces, office, and labs. This project will cost approximately $530 million, and the project construction is scheduled to commence within 18 months from the execution of this agreement and be substantially completed within 33 months after the beginning of construction. The commission is well familiar with DEFCO's qualifications as they've constructed at least 10 major redevelopment projects in New Brunswick, consisting of the Eldridge Hotel and Conference Center, the New Brunswick Performing Arts Center, the Gateway Center, and the Wellness Building and Deck. The second project is approving Downtown Hub Associates LLC, again an affiliate of DEFCO, and this property is right alongside the Technology Center project on about 1.6 acres of land. The project will consist of a new medical school for Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School, which will be approximately 150,000 square feet for administrative office, clouds, classrooms, labs, and student amenities. The project will cost approximately $170 million, and construction will begin with 18 months from the date of this contract and completed within 33 months. The action the board's acting to take today is to approve the redevelopers in both of these projects and to approve the redevelopment agreements which have been reached with the developer. We have skipped the step of coming back to the redevelopment agreements because we've negotiated with their attorney 8 or 10 of these agreements, so we know basically what's in the agreements. And these basic agreements are basically the same that we've had in the other projects. They provide for the payment of agency costs, including the administrative fee and escrow and the city ordinance. They require the developer to obtain all governmental improvements, including site plan for the project. They require the developer to use reasonable efforts to use public housing to residents in the project. They require the construction to begin within 18 months from this contract and be completed within 33 months. They provide the necessary insurances, including general liability of $5 million. They require the developer to indemnify the housing authority from any liabilities. They provide for the housing authority to give a certificate of completion upon completion of the project. And they also provide for non-discrimination provisions and a requirement that the project must be built in accordance with the provisions of the redevelopment plan. There are no transfers to other, they're prohibited unless approved by the parking authority. I'm sorry, unless approved by the redevelopment agency, and except for things like utility easements or leases. There are also the rights of any mortgagees, and there are the usual default provision and the usual representation provisions. Those are what's are in the agreements, and the developer has Charles Liebling here, their attorney, to present, and I understand Chris Palladino is here with his staff at DEFCO to also make a presentation, and I'll turn it over to them.
Thanks, John. Charles Liebling from Windell's Marks Land, Mittendorf of New Brunswick, representing the two entities that Mr. Hoffman mentioned, NJ Innovation Associates LLC, Downtown Hub Associates 2 LLC. Two separate applications before you, but because they are essentially adjacent, to be efficient, we wanted to present them together, and then ultimately there are two separate resolutions to approve the designations and the agreements. Mr. Hoffman gave a good description of the background, so I think what I'll do is just turn this over to Chris Palladino, who is the president of New Brunswick Development Corporation, which is the sole member of both of these applicant entities. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Liebling. Thank you, Chair and Commissioners, Mr. Clark, Mr. Hoffman. It's been a while before we've been before the agency. Seem that every time we initiate a new project, I often say that it's probably the most important project that we've worked on, and will have the greatest impact on the city of New Brunswick. And this is no exception. This is truly a transformational project that will not only impact the city of New Brunswick, Rutgers University, the state of New Jersey, but the metropolitan region as a whole in some extraordinary ways. While this is subject to two applications, I'm going to talk about them collectively, and I thank you for considering them at one time. This is the first phase of the Hub at New Brunswick Station redevelopment initiative, which has been a long time coming. It's taken on a variety of iterations. It has been, as most of the time, I think many of the projects that we do in New Brunswick, opportunistic and taking advantage of kind of the change in the economy and certainly opportunities here, particularly in science. The first phase of the Hub at New Brunswick redevelopment initiative, in summary, is approximately 550,000 square feet of medical education, academic translational research, collaborative spaces for entrepreneurs and startups, and some significant public spaces. It represents nearly $700 million in additional investment in the city of New Brunswick. I just kind of dwell on that for a second. And I'm going to ask Ms. Butchney to kind of put images up, and hopefully I'll be talking about them as we're doing them. But when you take this project and the Jack and Cheryl Morris Cancer Center at the Rutgers Cancer Center of New Jersey, that we are in New Brunswick on the threshold of an investment of over $1.4 billion in medical education, research, clinical activity, and patient care within blocks of each other, all within a block of the New Brunswick train station. It represents these two buildings, these two initiatives that'll be going up simultaneously over 1 million square feet of real science in the state of New Jersey. It's not happening anywhere else. This is just an extraordinary testament to the city of New Brunswick and to our partners. The facilities will include simulation labs, wet labs, dry labs, studio spaces, co-working spaces, classrooms, faculty offices, maker spaces, MNR facilities, and a food hall, which will be open to the public. The building to the west of the site will be home of the Rutgers Translational Research Center and the New Jersey Innovation and Technology Hub. Translational research is research that takes discovery of basic sciences into results that directly benefit the community and humans. It's a biodirectional process that involves multidisciplinary integration among basic clinical practice, population analysis, and policy-based research. This facility will be geared towards life science and will include researchers such as biologists, chemists, physicists, and computer scientists. In short, this facility will seek to accelerate the development of drugs, medical devices, and various therapies that will benefit patients immediately. In short, it's from the bench to the bedside. We anticipate that translational research component run by Rutgers to have 80 new principal investigators headquartered here and their research teams. We anticipate that this will be between 600 to 800 scientists and researchers collaborating in this component alone. The second component of the project is the New Jersey Innovation and Technology Hub, which is a partnership of Rutgers, Princeton University, the Hackensack Meridian Health System, Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas Health System, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, and DevCo. Rutgers also anticipates that their partnership with the University of Tel Aviv in Israel will be housed here. This partnership will create an ecosystem where creative collisions can take place and where new companies can be housed in their initial phases of development. What we've seen in places like Cambridge, Massachusetts, Palo Alto, California, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, that companies have a tendency to grow where they are founded and started. We hope that companies that start in this facility will grow, will find larger homes in New Brunswick and the surrounding communities, and continue to employ large numbers of people and create the next big companies of the future. The second building will be the new home of the Rutgers Robert Wood Johnson Medical School. This building will give students a state-of-the-art facility. They will be moving out of their facility that was built in the 1960s in Piscataway. And what's really important here, one of the things that's very, very exciting is that, to be able to take young physicians and to be able to put them in an ecosystem where translational research is taking place, since so many young doctors do actually gravitate towards not only clinical practices, but research. Medical education has changed dramatically. It used to be you spent 2 years in the classroom in Piscataway, and then you kind of gravitated to either Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital or to St. Peter's to start doing kind of your clinical component of your education. Clinical education actually happens now as early as the first year of your medical education. So having these students close to both St. Peter's and to Robert Wood is very, very important. This building will be state-of-the-art. It'll have anatomy labs. It will have simulation labs. And one of the other things that's truly, truly important here is that the simulation labs that will be built will not only be for the training of medical students, but will be for the continuing training of practitioners. So we will have doctors from our hospitals, doctors from hospital systems across the state, nurses, EMTs, X-ray technicians, potentially police officers coming to actually train in the simulation labs that are going to be housed in this building. The first phase, we anticipate approximately 1,800 people to work in this first phase of the hub project, and that we'll create in excess of 1,200 construction jobs during the construction phase of this building. We intend to extend our training to hire program that has already trained 26 individuals from our community, many of them recommended by faith-based organizations and from the Middlesex County Probation Department. We're working about a majority of our training to hire individuals are returning citizens and kind of given a second chance opportunity. So We've got 26 people who've been trained. We've got a class now of 15, and of the first cohort, we actually have 10 people working either on the Cancer Institute site or at the new community school site. We're going to also continue our leadership and training program with teenage students, and that this project will be integrated into our mentoring efforts and our support efforts of the P-TECH program at the New Brunswick High School. This is a very, very exciting program. This is a very, very exciting project. It will be transformational. It will bring not only 1,800 people to kind of work in these two buildings, but they'll become people who will hopefully move to the city, frequent our restaurants, our stores, and become a vibrant part of the economy. So we thank you for your consideration and look forward to continue to work with you.
Okay, Chair, you have a motion and second. You can move with, I guess, questions.
Yes, thank you. Any questions? Thank you, Mr. Palladino.
Madam Chair, I have a question. What is going to happen with parking? You just talked about 1,800 people coming into town. Is there something going on with a parking deck on the other edge of the property?
At the moment, we believe that given a increased emphasis on public transportation and the wellness garage, which has extraordinary availability, that in the first phase between that and the gateway garage, that there's enough parking. Commissioner, what's important to note is that there's at least one other, potentially two other buildings who can be built in this site. So we're going to have to add additional parking for the second phase.
Thank you.
Any further questions? Okay, all right, John?
Oh, ready for the vote, Chair?
Yes.
Okay. Commissioner Giorgiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda,
Yes.
sorry,
Pardon me,
Commissioner,
public comment? What, I'm sorry, is there going to be public comment?
There will be public comment, but at this point right now, no. It's not, we're not open for public comment right now. Is this Mr. Cradaville, excuse me?
This is Charlie, yes. I was hoping to be able to ask questions of the developer. Is that going to be, is there an opportunity to do that? I think it's definitely best practice.
At this point, we're not opened up for public comment at this point in time, Mr. Cradaville. So we'll be able to do that. We're right now in the middle of the vote, and then you'll have that opportunity.
Well, I apologize for interrupting. Can you ask the developer to stay on for the public comment, please?
I will ask that. Yes, Mr. Cradaville. Mr. Palladino, would you be able to stay on for the for a public comment for a few minutes?
Of course, sure.
Thank you, Mr. Palladino.
Chair, you ready?
Yes, thank you,
Okay.
John.
Commissioner Dunglap,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright, I can see you. Hopefully we can hear you.
Yes,
Ah,
yes, I'm
thank
having
you,
all
sir.
sorts of early on issues. I apologize.
No problem at all. And Chair.
No.
I will have to abstain.
Abstain, okay. Ready for the remaining, or you want to go to, if it pleases the chair, if I don't know
Yes,
what
why
people's
don't we-
schedules are, if you can deviate and go to public comment now and then. we
Yes,
can
let's
finish?
go to public comment now, please. Thank you very much.
Sure,
Okay,
you're open for public comment.
open for public comment, Mr. Cradaville?
Hello, Charles Cradaville from New Brunswick, editor of New Brunswick Today, community newspaper. I was hoping Mr. Palladino could enlighten us as to the role of Robert Wood Johnson Barnabas in this project.
Robert Wood Barnabas Health System, Hackensack Meridian, Rutgers, Middlesex County, and the New Jersey Economic Development Authority are core partners in the Innovation Center.
Okay, core partners. And Madam Chair, is it fair to say that's the reason you abstained from the vote, because you work for Robert Wood?
Yes, that is the reason, Mr. Cradwell.
Okay, thank you for clarifying. I do want to raise a concern that, you know, your the special counsel for the board, Mr. Hoffman, is, last I checked, the treasurer of Robert Wood Johnson University Hospital in New Brunswick, and I just wanted to understand, is that a conflict of interest? Should he be, you know, is it appropriate for him to represent the housing authority as the lawyer, but also be on the board of trustees at Robert Wood Johnson?
Mr. Cradwell, we've gone over this over and over again. The agreement is with DEFCO, an affiliate of DEFCO. We're dealing with the construction of the project, not ultimately who one of the tenants of the project are. So my relationship and the agreements are between just DEFCO, the DEFCO affiliate, and the housing authority. If there's any breach, it's a breach by DEFCO, and the remedies are against DEFCO. There's no privity with any of those other facilities.
Well, thank you for addressing it. I do bring it up every time because I do think it is a serious cause for concern. I wanted to ask why this is two separate applications. Maybe, you know, is there a different timeline for each one?
No, it's two separate applications because the underlying property in the innovation hub and the translational research building is the ground will be owned by the EDA and DEVCO. DEVCO will be the developer of, or whatever the name of our LLC is, will be the developer. So the EDA will not be have any fee, ownership of the fee for the medical education building.
I think just to clarify, they're two separate redevelopers,
Okay.
two separate special purpose entities that you heard named. One is NJ Innovation Associates LLC, and the other is Downtown Hub Associates 2 LLC. And because these projects are being undertaken, financed, et cetera, separately.
And they're two separate lots.
Correct.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cradwell, is that all with your public comment?
I actually have a few more quick questions.
You have about a minute.
Okay. Yeah, so I wanted to ask about the contamination, speaking of the ground. What's the status of the environmental investigation and cleanup?
So there is no environmental contamination in the area of where the first building's being built, the Translational Research Building. There's ongoing cleanup by the County of Middlesex. I believe some of that still does touch the medical education building, and the soil will be removed since we'll be building a basement. Obviously, we have an LSRP that works for us, and there's one that also works for the county. And we'll have all of the appropriate approvals and receiving all the appropriate guidance by the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection.
Thank you. And then finally, I wanted to ask about the 1,800 folks that would work here in this project. Can you tell me how many of those are new jobs and how many are jobs that would simply be, you know, relocated, for instance, from the, you know, existing medical school in Piscataway?
So the people who are in actually the medical school does not employ a tremendous amount of people, but all of the folks who will continue to both in the administration and teaching, which you know, and Charlie, I can get back to you directly about this component. But the medical school employees will be relocated from Piscataway. Rutgers will backfill that building with other uses. The Translational Research Building in the Innovation Hub, the Innovation Center. At the moment, there's 80 new PIs that are 80 PIs and their teams are anticipated to work in the academic translational component of this building. A private investigator has anywhere between 6 to 10 members of their team. It's anticipated at the moment, and Rutgers continues to work through this, and these folks will come on over a number of years, that up to 80% of the PIs will be new PIs. That doesn't mean that when we open that some people may be using these laboratories who currently work for Rutgers, but it's their intention to bring on approximately 80% of the researchers that work in this building, up to 80%, will be new employees. So, if we got 80 research teams, and it happened to be maximum teams of 10, that's 800 people, and 80% of that number. All the folks who are going to service this building, so from the custodians to people who are doing administration, people who are running the laboratories and running many of the other core facilities, the NMR suites. This is all new. This is a new building and a new initiative for the university, so they'll all be new. Everyone who occupies the Innovation Center are new. And we've got lab modules, we've got dry lab setups, we've got studio space, and we have co-working spaces for up to 600 people, and they'll all be new. They won't be employees of the building because these will people who employed themselves. We think the average small company that comes to work in this building will be between 2 to 10 people. So they'll all be new. Hopefully they won't stay long. They stay 3 to 4 years and they move on. They move out to Jersey Avenue, take space, start doing manufacturing of their medical devices or whatever, or move out to North Brunswick to the technology center. And then that gets recirculated, that we would create more spaces for people. If you've been, and I'm sure, Charlie, you've actually been to some of these places, but if you go to New Labs in the Brooklyn Navy Yard, you go to City Lab in Cambridge or Pennovation in Pennsylvania, in Philadelphia, it's very much, kind of on those models.
Thank you for the responses, and thank you, Madam Chair, for the opportunity to speak.
Okay.
Everybody from Tel Aviv will be new to the neighborhood.
Hi there. If this is the public comment section, I'm Rick Anderson.
Okay. Go ahead.
All right. Okay. So I'm Rick Anderson. I'm co-founder of Fair Use Building and Research Labs, which is a nonprofit makerspace, the first in New Jersey. We were formed 12 years ago. As an aside, I'm also co-founder of the Rutgers Makerspace. We reside at 100 Jersey Avenue right now, but we only reside there until the 31st. I mean, unless the nor'easter somehow disrupts our moving plan. So as a nonprofit makerspace, we've been in New Brunswick, the 12 years serving the community. And basically our nonprofit provides like a tech gym to support community access to technologies like 3D printing, augmented reality, building robots, machine learning, robot competitions. Members of our group are actually on BattleBots. So our organization has helped go around the community. So my comment is, one is we're a makerspace which actually fits in that innovation type of space that you're talking about. As us being redeveloped as part of the Jersey Sanford redevelopment plan, essentially we've all been given notice to leave the 31st. And the problem is there are like 30 different groups all trying to find new space, and we're trying to do it all at the same time, and we're collaborating each other. I'm trying to find out if the Jersey Sanford redevelopment plan had any relocation options for the people. Is there something going on in the future? Like, for instance, we're again the first makerspace in New Jersey. We based here in New Brunswick, and like we're a fit for big projects like what you just talked about, because we bring that innovation and we bring it to the community, as and occasionally in partnership with Rutgers as well. So I just wanted to know, is there anything about that redevelopment plan? And then, we don't want to lose and leave New Brunswick. We want to stay here. Is there any space in this new place for community makers, people who are local entrepreneurs, building and creating like autonomous vehicles and all kinds of really great stuff?
Madam Chairman, could I just make a comment?
Yes, Mr. Palladino.
Mr. Anderson, I would love to, schedule some time and meet with you remember years ago being out at your space. I mean,
Yeah.
I wish we had a space to put you tomorrow. We're not going to be done for 3 years.
Yeah.
But I think there would be extraordinary synergy and exactly the type of thing that, one of the things we've talked about, and I'd love to just pick your brain and get your help on our makerspace that we're talking about, because we'd like to make it open to the community. And I wish we were opening tomorrow because we could probably be part of your solution. I don't,
Yeah.
if I'm pretty easy to find.
Okay. All right. Sure.
And we could definitely get together the next week or so. We're finally getting back to work next week in the office, but I'd love to find a way to collaborate with you and maybe, since you have to move quickly, maybe, us and our staff could be a little bit of help of trying to find a place for you temporarily.
Yeah. I'd love any support that you got. And, again, trying to find a community space in this future area. We're here to do that. We've been virtual for COVID before, so we're going to be virtual. We're going to be running robot competitions, maker fairs. So we're not, whatever happens, we're still involved in the real world.
Right. No,
and I'd be happy to meet.
All right, Mr. Anderson. And thank you, Mr. Palladino. Okay. All right.
Chair, you want to go back to the regular order of business? Because I know there's a public comment at the end for other comments.
Yes, the regular order of
Okay.
business. Okay.
All right, thank you all. Resolution number 3 is a resolution ratifying, authorizing, and approving payments of bills for the month of December 2021.
Make a motion to move.
Second.
Okay.
Any questions
Go
on the
ahead.
board?
Yes.
Ready for the vote, Chair?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
and Chair.
Yes.
All right, resolution number 4 is a resolution approving the award of contract for the provision of professional risk management services to Alamo Insurance Group.
Can I get a motion
I'll make a motion to accept.
in a second?
Second.
So Chair, this is the annual professional risk management service contract that is publicly bid. We do go out and advertise for these and solicit, and is paid as the payment is not from the housing authority, it's from part of our premium. And they act as a risk manager to assist with insurance claims and other items involving insurance for all lines in the housing authority.
Okay.
Ready for the vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda. Commissioner Cepeda?
Yes. Sorry.
That's all right. Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner
Sorry.
Wright?
Yes.
That's okay. And Chair.
Yes.
And resolution number 5 is a resolution authorizing and approving contract for accounting services with Polcari and Company in an amount not to exceed $49,500.
Okay. Can I get a motion?
Motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
Chair, again, this is an RFP publicly advertised for annual services for fee accounting. And Polcari was the highest scoring respondent.
Okay.
Ready for the vote?
Yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani,
Yes.
Mr. Cepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunlap,
Yes.
Commissioner Wright,
Yes.
and Chair.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Chair, you're back into public comment.
Okay.
Regular public.
Yes. Open for public comment. Okay.
Charlie Cradaville here. Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, we can hear you, Charlie.
Okay.
Okay,
Go ahead.
great. Yeah, I did want to follow up on the issue raised by Mr. Anderson. The folks at 100 Jersey Avenue are not being treated well. They basically have been given a month to leave the space, as you heard. And I have the same question as Mr. Anderson. Is there accommodations for relocation in that redevelopment plan? I know you approved a LLC controlled by Accurate Builders to be the designated redeveloper. Did they ever come back with a redevelopment agreement? And what are they going to have to do right by these folks?
Chair, if I could.
John, go ahead.
Yeah. Hey, Charlie, part of the redevelopment plan would include those types of activities. I can check on the status of that and get back to you. You said the tenants
Yeah,
of
'cause I know-
100 Jersey Ave?
Yeah, exactly.
Which
So
tenants exactly?
everyone in the building. It's
Everyone in
like
the
a
building has come to you.
four-story building.
Okay.
Yeah, they're saying they got a notice on December the 28th or on or around that date, telling them they've got to be out by end of January.
Yeah, we're not a
So-
party to their leases, just so you understand. So the
course, of
property is currently owned and managed by the owner and manager. So, but I will look
Yeah,
into that and get back to you definitely.
And it's my understanding that's the designated redeveloper for a huge 660 unit development. And I know that it's typically set forth that they're supposed to come back with the agreement within 90 days. And I don't know if an agreement was ever reached with this redeveloper. And I find it very curious why they would be kicking everybody out like this, especially folks who've contributed to the New Brunswick community for a long time. This is their first time in New Brunswick, so they don't have the community credibility that people like the tenants at 100 Jersey Avenue have. And I'm also concerned that they're, have successfully taken the building from the Puerto Rican Action Board, and I'm hearing that they may leave town, and that would be a huge loss for the community here in New Brunswick. I know. There's a lot of people who've been helped by that organization over the years, but if 90 and 100 Jersey Avenue are all shut down and everybody gets kicked out unceremoniously, we're going to lose a lot more than just Crab. And I think that, this board is in a position to do something about it. You're the ones who have chosen this company to be the designated redeveloper here. So I think they should be required to provide relocation assistance and make every effort to make sure folks can stay in New Brunswick if they want to. I mean, we shouldn't be pushing out small businesses and good community organizations. So I hope that you'll take these, take what I'm saying to heart, and can you get back to me and tell me if there is an agreement in place, and if so, what relocation assistance is available?
Yeah, Chair, I can do that, but Charlie, that typically wouldn't happen until after a redevelopment agreement. So if there's a current owner that wants to do something with their property outside of a redevelopment matter, we're not a party to that, what a private owner does with their property. So,
but you could de-designate them.
If they have a redevelopment agreement. If they have a redevelopment agreement, obviously there's actions in the redevelopment agreement that require them to do certain things. But I can check and get back to you.
Okay, I'll look forward to that.
Yep.
And
All right.
thank you.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I would like to speak, please.
Who is this?
Michael Crockford from New Brunswick.
Okay.
Michael, I'm sorry, I didn't get your last name.
Crockford, Crockford.
Thank you,
Okay.
Michael.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sure. Good evening, everyone. I'm actually one of the tenants in 100 Jersey Avenue, who was basically served a vacate letter. I saw it just after New Year's, and like everybody else in there, frantically looking for the same exact spaces that basically don't exist all over, New Brunswick, South River, Manville, wherever. Basically, I've been in and out of New Brunswick since 1983. I'm a woodworker and an artist that has maintained a space in Jersey Avenue for 4 years. And I want to say that basically my understanding also from talking with Mr. Dominguez is that the plan has not been approved, and but it's been presented a full 2 years ago now, February of 2020, as per the video that I saw online. The questions that I have about this is I understand, of course, that the landlord is my basically what I want to say is that we have a most of us were not given renewed leases. I specifically asked my landlord, who I thought was my landlord, who is actually not my landlord. It was 100 New Brunswick Square LLC, which sold to whatever the LLC that is representing Accurate Builders in this case. That I asked them when I paid them all my PPP loan money for back rent in July. I asked them specifically, like, what's the plan with this building? Because you're not maintaining it, and that, you know, there's a buzz that basically you're not maintaining it and that you're going to sell it. And we were told by who we thought was the landlord, we didn't know it was sold yet. It had already been sold. We were told by New Brunswick Square LLC that that there was, quote, no plan to sell the building, right? No plan to sell the property. At that point, I started investing more money into my business based on that information, right? I had an explicit statement, right? Now, what I've learned just in the last few weeks is that he's not really my landlord. Those people that I was talking to are not my landlord. My landlord is actually Accurate Builder, but they signed a non-disclosure agreement. How do I know this? Because someone told me. A non-disclosure agreement with the old owners, the old landlord, to basically pretend that they were the new landlord or the continuing landlord, I'm sorry, and collecting rent and doing all these things. And they were told not to tell us that we were going to be vacated, that we were going to be evicted. I am furious about this. And so is everyone else in this building. We are furious. And I've asked Mr. Dominguez, I spoke at the city council meeting last time. I'm sure some of you have paid attention to that. We are so beside ourselves in what to do. Do you know how hard it is to move 20,000 pounds of woodworking machinery? I don't have that kind of money. I barely made it through COVID, you know? And so, and the thing is, it's not just like a standard, like I, the landlord, have decided to change my, you know, like sell my building. Like, you know, like the old landlord bought the building 4 years ago. The new landlord bought the building 1 year ago. And we are in the dark until it's too late to do anything about it. We weren't even given the opportunity to have 6 months, which is what I asked for. I actually asked New Brunswick Square to have at least give us 6 months so that I know what I can do. Like I can make a plan. I can't make a plan in 30 days. I'm selling my equipment right now. I'm whittling down from 2,400 to maybe 800 square feet and just making a skeletal like business out of what I'm doing now. You know, and I want to know what is the role of city government in protecting small businesses. There's like, I don't know how many there are, but there's at least 30 small businesses that are being affected here, you know? And the whole point of redevelopment is to build business, to build community, right? We're being destroyed in this regard. And so I don't even know what the questions are, but I know what the hurt is. And I'm not the only one. I try to get other people there to come speak here, but like everyone's just scrambling, you know. And so I'm not really sure what to say. I know I have more to say, but the you know, I really implore you to pay attention to the non-disclosure agreement issue, you know, and the dirty side of this, you know, that has happened here, and that this and I also, what we really need is we need help. I understand that the city government's role in this is not to provide us with monetary assistance to help us move or to find a new space, but the developer there should have been some kind of explicit agreement. And I understand that the plan has not been approved yet. I just feel like this is actually the plan. You know, this feels like it's actually the plan going on here. That we are given no time to do anything about this. I will stop now, but I would like some response to this. And we need money. We need help. You know, I'm looking at my business dying. I've been doing this for 20 years. I'm looking at my business dying. Thank you.
John, thank you.
Yeah.
John,
Yeah, again, I have no problem in getting back, but if there's no redevelopment agreement that's executed, a private owner, you know, we're not party to any document like that. But I have no problem if I can get Michael's information and circle back to him. You know, I can try to find out what the status of that is.
Can I ask a question though? Because you know, I only sorry,
Mr. Michael, I'm
Yes.
sorry. We'll follow up with this again. Public comment.
just a short follow-up question on it, because because, you know, this plan was presented for New Brunswick for 100 Jersey Avenue. It was presented to the planning board 2 full years ago. There's been plenty of front knowledge in your offices, you know, for 2 full years and probably longer. So I just, like, you know, it sounds, with all due respect, you know, it's just like, it sounds a little bit hollow just to hear, you know, we're gonna look into it. You know, we need something. I'm not just me, you know, there's 40 other businesses representing hundreds of people, right? We need a little more than that.
Sure. Michael, is this your email that I'm seeing here?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I'll connect with you offline.
Thank you, John.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Yep.
Okay,
Madam Chair? Madam Chair?
who is
Hello?
this?
Hi, this is Dan Toto. I've been in New Brunswick for 16 years working. I just wanted to thank, because I run the Section 3 program, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank Chris Palladino for hiring a number of the applicants we signed over. A lot of these young men and women, there is a woman there on site, really didn't have any hope, but he somehow found it within himself, I guess, to direct these individuals looking for work and giving something to look forward to. So I wanted to share that, and I wanted to make sure that did not go unnoticed. But thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Okay, any other public comments? Okay. Close that.
You
Okay.
are in, there's no closed session needed, Chair.
No. Closed session. Okay,
So you take a motion to adjourn?
yes, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Second.
Ready for the vote, Chair?
yes.
Commissioner Giorgiani,
Yes.
Commissioner Cepeda,
Yes.
Commissioner Dunglap? Commissioner Dunglap? I see you on there, wave, okay. Commissioner Wright
Yes.
and Chair.
Yes.
Okay, thank you all.
John, could you stay on?
Yeah, I will have to call you separately, Chair.
Yes, thank
'Cause
you.
I have to, yep, all right, you got it. All right.
Thank you.
Yep.
Have a
Thank
good night. Thank you.